If there is one nation whose destiny is more intertwined with oil than any other, it is Venezuela.
Beneath the surface of this South American nation lies a colossal treasure, the world's largest proven oil reserves.
Yet, ironically, this immense wealth did not bring lasting stability, but rather unveiled a complex saga.
Part 1. The history of oil throne, when Venezuela entered the energy era. The story begins in the early 20th century.
From then on, Venezuela quickly rose to become one of the world's leading oil exporting nations.
Oil brought immense revenue, fostering urbanization and improving living standards.
It transformed Venezuela into a symbol of prosperity for the Latin American region.
For many decades, oil was not merely fuel, but the very foundation of the entire economy.
However, this excessive dependence on a single resource quietly created significant risks.
When oil dominated every sector, the economy became fragile, susceptible to global energy price fluctuations.
If there is one nation whose destiny is more intertwined with oil than any other, it is Venezuela.
Beneath the soil of this South American nation lies a colossal resource of the world's largest proven oil reserves.
But ironically, that very wealth has not brought lasting stability, instead unfolding a complex tale.
Part 1. The history of oil. Quintas. When Venezuela entered the energy era.
The story begins in the early 20th century with the discovery of the first oil fields.
From there, Venezuela rapidly rose to become one of the world's leading oil exporting nations.
Oil brought colossal revenue, fueling urbanization, enhancing living standards, and transforming Venezuela into...
For many decades, oil was not merely fuel, it was the very foundation of the entire economy.
However, this overwhelming reliance on a single resource was also silently creating a risk.
When oil dominated every sector, the economy became fragile, susceptible to the fluctuations of global energy prices.
As we move into the modern era, Venezuelan oil ceases to be merely an economic commodity. It became the very core of vital political decisions, profoundly shaping the nation's destiny.
Policies related to controlling resources, distributing profits, and choosing international partners drastically altered Venezuela's domestic landscape.
Differences in the philosophy of oil management sparked prolonged political tensions.
In his Tuli Torres, oil became both a crucial advantage and a sensitive point of contention.
When politics intervened deeply in the energy sector, operational efficiency plummeted.
Investment was curtailed, and crude oil production began a steady, alarming decline.
This downward spiral led to a cascade of profound socioeconomic repercussions across the country.
The story of Venezuelan oil extends far beyond its borders, influencing the global stage.
Part 3 will explore how a single nation's oil fortunes can reverberate across the entire world.
The social contract frays as basic needs go unmet, fueling a deepening crisis.
In response, the government tightens its grip, yet widespread unrest continues to simmer beneath the surface.
The ripple effects of Venezuela's diminishing oil output are felt across global markets, impacting far more than just prices.
Beyond the economy, the very fabric of daily life deteriorates as essential services for health and education crumble. Neglect extends beyond infrastructure, scarring the nation's natural beauty and the health of its citizens.
In a globalized world, Venezuela's oil crisis cannot and does not remain confined within its borders.
Nations dependent on energy and those concerned with
geopolitical stability
begin to weigh their options.
Part 3. Global impact.
when one nation affects the entire world. In an era of globalization,
Any shift any shift in its output or export policy can impact global energy markets. World oil.
From many perspectives, Venezuela's oil story carries different layers of meaning.
For Venezuela, oil is a strategic asset and a symbol of sovereignty.
For other nations, it is a potential energy supply and a factor influencing market stability.
for the world, it is a lesson about the relationship between resources, politics, and sustainable development.
There is no single answer to every problem.
Oil geopolitics is a complex intersection of economic interests, energy security, and international policy.
The Venezuela story shows that oil can bring prosperity, but can also create significant challenges if not managed effectively.
From the bustling streets of a golden age to the quiet struggle for daily sustenance, the landscape has changed profoundly.
In an era where the world is gradually shifting to new energy and high technology,
the important question is no longer who has more oil, but who uses resources more intelligently and sustainably.
if there's one nation whose destiny is more intertwined with oil than any other, it is Venezuela. Beneath the soil of this South American nation lies a colossal treasure trove in the world's largest proven oil reserves.
Yet ironically, this immense wealth has not brought lasting stability, but rather unravels activities battle. The story begins in the early 20th century, when the first oil fields were discovered. From oil brought enormous revenues, fueled urbanization, improved living standards, and transformed Venezuela into a symbol of prosperity in Latin America.
For decades, oil was not just fuel, but the very foundation of the economy. However, an over-reliance
As oil dominated all sectors, the economy became fragile against global energy price volatility.
Moving into the modern era, Venezuelan oil ceased to be merely an economic story. It became central to crucial political decisions.
Policies concerning resource control, profit distribution, and the choice of international partners profoundly altered the domestic landscape.
Differences in oil management philosophy led to prolonged political tensions. Oil became both an advantage and a sensitive point. In an era of globalization, Venezuela's oil story extends far beyond its borders.
Changes in its output or export policies can ripple across global energy markets.
World oil prices, transportation costs, industrial production, and the daily lives of millions are indirectly impacted. For energy importing nations, Venezuela remains a crucial variable in long-term energy security. Venezuela's oil situation is closely monitored by the international community, not just for its vast reserves, but for its far-reaching implications.
Part 4, multiple perspectives. The story of Venezuela's oil carries different meanings from various viewpoints. For Venezuela, it's a strategic asset and a symbol of sovereignty.
For other nations, it's a potential energy source and a factor influencing market stability.
For the world, it's a lesson on the relationship between resources, politics, and sustainable development.
There is no single answer to every challenge. The geopolitics of oil is a complex economic interests.
The story of Venezuela illustrates that oil can bring immense prosperity.
Yet, it can also create significant challenges if not managed effectively.
In an era where the world is rapidly transitioning to new energy sources and advanced technology,
The critical question is no longer who possesses the most oil, but who utilizes their resources more intelligently and sustainably.
Venezuela's journey serves as a powerful global lesson for us all.